Hi, buddy. Can I sit in there with you? Yeah. Oh, so sweet. Oh. Guys, welcome back to another video. This one is a little different than normal, obviously, because it's not all about Archie, the Cavapoo, but we're talking about like dogs in general, and I feel like this is a super important topic to bring up because I remember before I got Archie, even though I grew up with dogs, I still didn't know everything that I felt like I should know about, like, so basically this video is all about things that dogs cannot eat, and I felt like even before I got Archie, like, I really just didn't know like what dogs can and cannot eat. So I did a lot of research on it, just so I knew what I needed to be super careful about, and I just think it's really important, especially if you have kids, maybe educating your kids on what, you know, I don't know, every house is different. That's very loud. Okay, well anyway, every house is different, but I'm a firm believer on not feeding your dog food from your table, but I know all homes are different, so I feel like it's just good to educate yourself, educate your kids, everyone in your home on what your dog cannot have so that it lives a long, happy life. Okay, so I'm just going to explain all the different things that dogs definitely cannot have and why they cannot have them. So I wrote them all on my phone and kind of like a description of them. So let's just like get right into it. So the most obvious one is the one I'm going to start out with, and that's chocolate. So the best rule of thumb is the darker the chocolate, the worse it is for a dog. So I've heard that a dog can eat their weight in milk chocolate, but like a little tiny, I don't know if this is right, but a little tiny bit of dark chocolate is really, really, really bad for them. It can be super toxic. Now, I don't know if that part's true, but I do know the darker the chocolate, the worse it is for the dog. And that is because chocolate contains, I cannot pronounce this word, but it's theobrome. I have no idea if I just said that right. And caffeine. And dogs cannot handle either of those. It causes severe heart, liver, and digestion problems. So 100% just not good for dogs. So like I just mentioned, that has caffeine in it naturally. So that also means dogs cannot have drinks or anything else with caffeine in them as well. Another thing that dogs cannot have are fruit pits, or seeds, or the leaves on the fruit. So these contain highly toxic compounds. So I'm not saying fruits. Hi, baby. You're so sweet. So I'm not saying fruits are bad for dogs. I'm saying that the seeds and the pits and the leaves. Do you want down? Okay, I'll put you down. He's over it. Okay. Well, anyway, I'm saying that the seeds, the fruits, or the seeds, the pits, and the leaves are extremely toxic for dogs. So the next one is alcohol, and I feel like this is extremely obvious, but it's actually not, because I've been to many parties or situations where people think it's funny to like give their dog some alcohol to drink, or let them drink the alcohol that has spilt, or just let them drink out of a cup that has alcohol in it. It's really, really, really not good for dogs. I know people just think it's funny, but like it's their health and they don't know better, so it's really not fair. But with that being said, alcohol is extremely toxic. It can cause vomiting, diarrhea, tremors, and trouble with breathing. So just not good. Please do not give your dog any alcohol. So this is one that I feel like is kind of surprising, but kind of not. But pretty much the majority of spices that we use, and things like onions and garlic, and anything along those lines, are really not good for dogs. So basically what it is that thing that like makes your eyes tear up and kind of has that like that sensation, is the same compound, or he really wants inside. Fine. So basically any spices and things like onion powder and garlic powder can cause bloody urine, vomiting, irregular heartbeat, so just not good. So even like if you've seen in my past videos, I cook food for Archie but I don't use any like spices in these food. He still loves it. Like, we have different taste palettes. Like, he enjoys that. He doesn't need all these different spices like we need. Another one that kind of goes along with the like spice category is mustard. And mustard is also very toxic to dogs and just not safe in general. So just keep that in mind, especially with like grilling out and stuff, or letting your dog like eat your meat or lick your plate. Just things to keep in mind. So another one that I feel like people, I don't want to say they don't know, but they don't realize, is artificial sweeteners. So I have no idea how to pronounce this. It's like XYLITOL. No idea how to pronounce that. But this is a very common artificial sweetener. It's found in things like candies and gum. So that's a big one. And it's also found in some peanut butters. So something to just keep in mind. I know people like to give their dog peanut butter, but just keep in mind that if it has an artificial sweetener, then it's very toxic for your dog. And we'll touch on nuts a little bit later, but this can cause, where did I write this down? But this can cause an insulin spike and possibly liver failure. So definitely just not good things. But yeah, so the next one, like I just said, peanut butter or nuts. A lot of people think nuts are safe for dogs, but they are very high in fat, so it causes severe upset stomachs, and depending on the nut, the severity of the upset stomach. But also macadamia nuts cause temporary paralysis. So just keep your dogs away from all of the nuts, the peanut butter. I personally just have never given, just never given my dog peanut butter. I know people think it's funny to like put it on their nose and watch it lick it, but it's really just like not that good for them. So just stay away from that. This is a really big one that I didn't know for the longest time, but I always saw it because like fruits are pretty much good for dogs, but grapes and raisins are a fruit that is not good for dogs. So basically behind that, they just cause kidney failure. So their long-term health, just don't feed them any grapes or raisins. It's just not good for them. But I know it's so easy because you think, oh, just give them a little grape or something. I don't know. But yeah, not good. Another one, so those are pretty much all the ones that will cause serious health issues that you should really stay away from and just be conscious about. Now here are some other ones that that might not kill your dog, but it's also not good for them. Okay, so first one is dairy. Well, dairy isn't toxic for dogs. A lot of dogs actually cannot break down dairy. They do not have the digestive enzymes like humans do. It'd be like them digesting it as a lactose intolerant person. So they will have a lot of like stomach issues and just not feel very good. So stick away from dairy. Some other foods to avoid would be corn. So pretty much with corn is there's not really much nutritional value, and they're very hard to digest on dogs' stomach. Citrus fruits, like I said, there's seeds in there, but besides the seeds, like giving them too much citrus, I don't know why I'm struggling to say that, giving them too much citrus is not good for them. And then also avocados and bacon. I know a lot of people love to give their dog bacon, but just something to know is that those are both really high in fats, and although you may love both of them, they're just not good for your dog. They are just way too high in fat. It's really hard for them to digest as well. And then pretty much like any salty human foods. So something I just kind of wanted to add at the end was that I know people love to give their dogs part of their meal, but just keep in mind there's actually a lot of things in those meals, even though you're like, oh, it's just a steak. Well, you probably put salt in your steak, you might have used garlic or onion or some type of sauce, and what you don't know is a lot of like the sauces that you might use for your meats actually have like artificial sweeteners in them. So just things to keep in mind. I'm also a really firm believer that I do not feed my dog, like if I have my plate of food here, I do not give him food from it, because then they beg, and that's like a whole nother topic. But with Archie, we do give him human food, but we give it to him at like a different time. So not when we're eating, and pretty much we like take it from the fridge to the counter and then be like, okay Archie, this is for you, and like we don't eat from it as well. It's just for him. We take it over to the living room and then we give it to him. So like it's kind of like a process versus like, oh, I'm eating like a bowl of blueberries, here's some as well because I know that he eats blueberries. Like, I don't know, just like training things as well. But that's just like a whole nother topic that I kind of just wanted to throw in at the end. Just better behavior, and then they won't get into foods that they're not supposed to be getting into, so you don't have to like worry as much. Like for us with Archie, like I could leave, you know, a big steak sitting right here and then walk inside and leave him alone out here and he won't even touch it, won't sniff it, won't sit by it, like just knows that it's not his and is not interested because I've never like initiated that interest. But like I said, that's like all about training as well. But it's just nice because then I don't have to worry about him eating things that I know are gonna make him sick. But yeah, I hope that was helpful. Now this is not to say that like, you know, fruits and veggies and meat are bad for dogs, because they're definitely not, but just the way they're prepared, they need to be prepared differently. So that's pretty much all I have for this video. Sorry it was kind of like me just like lecturing you. I know that's like not that interesting, and Archie left the video because he was bored. But I think this is just good info, especially if you're a new parent or even a not new dog parent. Like these are just things that you should know and be educated on. That way your pet can live the best, happiest life ever. Also, all of these foods do not relate to every animal as well. So if you have a cat or a different type of animal, I recommend looking that up because it's going to be way different than for a dog. Although some cats and dogs do have similar things that they can't eat, but just do your own research on that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this, please give it a thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate that. If you enjoy learning more things about dogs, be sure to subscribe because I have lots more videos coming. And also, if you have any questions about literally anything to do with like Archie or Cavapoos or dog things in general, just leave them in the comments. I try to respond to every comment that I can. So yeah, if you have any questions, please just leave them down below and I will be happy to answer them for you. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope this wasn't too painful to get through.